While Moscow flaunted the influence of its Black Sea fleet in the Mediterranean and turned occupied Crimea into a land-based aircraft carrier, the Ukrainian Armed Forces expanded their capabilities and developed unique operational approaches. Consortium for Defense Information of Ukraine said this. According to Espresso TV, despite practically having no surface fleet, Ukraine shook the foundation of both the Russian Black Sea Fleet and Crimea, because one cannot function effectively without the other. Ukraine's defense forces reached a point where dominance in the western Black Sea was not only eliminated, but Russia's main forces were forced to retreat to Novorossiysk under the pressure of drones. The sinking of the flagship of the Russian Black Sea Fleet in April 2022 was a game-changer in the war's course. What followed was an almost continuous series of complex operations accompanied by rapid development of specialized weapons. Ukrainian maritime drones were first reported on September the 21st, 2022, when Russians found and destroyed one near Sevastopol's coast. By late October 2022, a group of 7 sea drones attacked ships in Sevastopol Bay. Several successful raids on occupiers' ships forced them literally to hide their vessel in bays and further fortify those bays. Of course, the naval war was not without setbacks. The recognition of human vulnerability during maritime operations, for example, during the liberation of Snake Island or the ambush of Ukrainian special forces from the 73rd Marine Center near Tendrivska Spit in February 2024, and the need to protect soldiers gradually transformed naval tactics. While people continue to risk and demonstrate heroism, smart machines began to take autonomous roles at sea. In July 2023, surface naval drones significantly damaged the roadway of the Crimean Bridge, showcasing the broad capabilities of these drones and marking a new level for the defense forces, acquiring combat skills that never existed before. Serial combat use of maritime drones in the Black Sea began in early summer 2023, and since then, these drones underwent a complex transformation into advanced combat systems. In August 2023, Ukrainian intelligence publicly released rare footage of an experimental sea drone attacking the Crimean Bridge. In May 2024, the SBU converted the Sea Baby drone into a multifunctional platform equipped with a rocket launcher. In December 2024, the Ukrainian Navy showcased kamikaze boats acting as drone motherships capable of launching their own FPV drones. The combat capabilities of maritime drones grew so rapidly, they often became a surprise for Russia. A notable battle took place in early December 2024 when a group of SBU Sea Baby RCCs engaged Russian helicopters, planes, and Raptor patrol boats trying to intercept them. In 2025, Ukraine's maritime robotic systems saw another surge in development. Reports emerged of successful use of maritime drones armed with naval mines, machine guns, unguided rockets, surface-to-air missiles, torpedoes, and even drone motherships with FPV drones. Among major 2024 to 2025 operations were attacks on Russian-occupied offshore gas rigs using Ukrainian surface drones equipped with guided missiles. A whole series of Ukrainian naval drone strikes targeted both land and sea objectives. The defense forces of Ukraine achieved many naval firsts in the war. On May 1, 2025, for the first time in history, 2 Russian Su-30 flanker multi-role fighters were shot down in the Black Sea using unmanned boats armed with AIM-9 Sidewinder air-to-air missiles. The operation involved 3 Magura V-7 sea drones, 2 of which fired on the aircraft. One Su-30 was downed near Novorossiysk, the other over the Black Sea. There's no doubt that unmanned systems will continue to evolve at sea.
8 children at a church near Harvard University where a French youth choir was holding a concert suffered seizure-like symptoms and were taken to hospitals, officials said. According to Associated Press, the symptoms were not life-threatening, the Cambridge Fire Department said in a news release. About 70 other people in attendance at the concert Tuesday evening at St. Paul's Parish in Harvard Square were not affected. Crews first received a call about a child suffering from a seizure. When firefighters arrived, the child was sitting outside of the church but was not actively having a seizure, fire officials said. The department's hazmat team completed a thorough survey of the St. Paul buildings utilizing several air sampling meters to ensure that no hazardous conditions were present, the news release said. Results were negative and the buildings were ventilated. St. Paul's Facebook page said a French youth choir, the Chœur d'Enfants d'Île-de-France, was offering a free concert at the church on Tuesday night as part of its 2025 U.S. tour.
Hey there, roll again. We're going to have some firefighter sound coming in live.
Tens of Palestinians in Gaza City queued up in long lines around a soup kitchen with their pots, hoping to fill them up with whatever little they could get from the watery tomato soup that has little eggplant pieces in it. According to Associated Press, only the very fortunate of them get eggplants, but for the vast majority, it is just soup. The queues were neat until the soup started to run out. People started scrambling with their pots to get some of the soup. Nadia Mduk, a displaced woman living in a makeshift tent together with her husband and 3 children, said the soup kitchen used to have some 20 to 30 people gathered around it when food used to be available and prices were relatively cheap, but now there are more than 300 gathering to get food from the same soup kitchen. When I stand at the charity kitchen, there's a lot of pushing and hitting. I'm exposed to danger at any moment, especially since I'm pregnant, and there's also the risk of sunstroke. But I bear it and say, it's for the sake of my children, she said. We rely on this meal until another charity kitchen distributes food, Mduk added. 28 countries including Britain, Japan and a host of European nations issued a joint statement Monday saying the war in Gaza must end now, the latest sign of allies sharpening language as Israel's isolation deepens. Gaza's population of more than 2 million Palestinians is in a catastrophic humanitarian crisis, now relying largely on the limited aid allowed into the territory. Israel's offensive has displaced some 90% of the population, with many forced to flee multiple times. Most of the food supplies Israel has allowed into Gaza go to the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, an American group backed by Israel. Since its operations began in May, hundreds of Palestinians have been killed in shootings by Israeli soldiers while heading to the sites, according to witnesses and health officials. Israel's 21 months of war with Hamas have pushed Gaza to the brink of famine, sparked worldwide protests and led to an International Criminal Court arrest warrant against Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.